Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Sri Gyan Manjari Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 9. Students, today we are going to start with the revision work of the complete syllabus. But before we go ahead with the revision work, let us take a quick look at the exam pattern, that is the paper style, because you need to prepare the subject according to the paper style. You should know exactly what is asked where and how you have to prepare. So let us start with the paper pattern or the paper style blueprint. Total marks for final exam of 9th standard is going to be 80 marks. The whole of the paper is divided into 5 sections: section A, B, C, D and E. Section A has 20 marks. Now, section A, 20 marks. What is the bifurcation of those 20 marks? First thing is textual comprehension, that will be asked from BH. BH means behave. Now, students, I assume that you must be sitting with your writing material. You should be having at least a rough book, a rough page, pen, paper, whatever, so that you can note down the paper style that is given on the board. Textual comprehension from Beehive. MCQs, 2 marks. Now what is the meaning of that? Comprehension we all know. Now for this particular year, a new syllabus has been given, some syllabus has been reduced, some parts of the syllabus has been reduced, and the paper is going to be asked from the rest of the syllabus, right? So paper pattern has been changed. We have been doing comprehension since quite a long time, yes, 7th, 8th, 9th. So we have been into practice of dealing with this particular question, but we had seen and unseen. Seen means you already know the text, that means it will be asked, that is that textual comprehension. Unseen and unknown paragraph will be given, which you are reading for the first time. You have to understand that and answer the questions given below that passage. Now that is reduced. Now this year we will not be having any unseen paragraph or unseen poem. We will be having everything from the textbook only. So that means whatever syllabus is in Beehive, that is chapter number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not there, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is not there, 11 is there. So 2 chapters have been cut, that is 5 and 10. Remaining chapters, that is 9 chapters, from anywhere they will take one passage. You have to read that passage. Of course, we have read the textbook, we have read the chapters, so we know from which chapter this comprehension has been asked. Now, what is the meaning of MCQs? Instead of answering question and answer, instead of that, a question will be asked, 4 options will be given, you have to choose the correct option. That question will be related to the text that is given. Now, there is a problem because we know that the passage has been taken from this chapter, but there is something before that passage and maybe there is something after the passage also. So, it is assumed that we know the complete chapter. So whenever we are dealing with this type of textual comprehension, we have to believe that something can be asked which is not given in the particular passage that you see in the find in the paper, right? But we know the text, so we can easily reply. That is that MCQ. Next question will be textual comprehension again, but here it will be question answers. Question will be given, you have to answer it. Now, point to remember is you have to satisfy the question. Comprehension does not mean that you have to finish it in one line or one word. Until the question is not satisfied, it can be 2 lines, it can be 3 lines. Usually it is short answer. Yes, it's not that lengthy, but then one sentence is the maximum. Many people believe that. It's quite wrong. Until you don't satisfy the answer, whether it is 2 line, 3 line, please write the answer properly and it should justify the questions. 3 questions will be asked, you have to write 3 answers. Next we come to FB, that is fill in the blanks, vocabulary. We know very well, right? Some difficult words in a passage will be chosen and put in the bracket, and instead of those words there will be a blank, right? So we should thoroughly read all the chapters so that we know exactly. Now when the passage is given, we automatically know, yes, this passage has been taken from this chapter. But when we know that, we should also know that the vocabulary, that the words that go in that chapter, you should also remember that, and sequence also, right? So textual comprehension, 3 marks, okay. Fill in the blanks, vocabulary, we know which word fits where, that you also, and fill in the blanks. Now next question is textual question answers, that will be taken from these 9 chapters. 2 chapters are reduced from the remaining 9 chapters. Question answers will be asked. We know standard 2 mark question is there. Yes, 2 marks each. Yes, length of the answer depends upon the question. Please do not assume that this is the maximum that we have to write. Yes, 4, 5 lines, 6 lines. Even on the board paper it tells you to write 5 or 6 lines, but usually we have to justify the question. So length of each and every question might differ from question to question. Somewhere it can take up more than 7 to 8 lines. Somewhere we do not have enough matter to continue even 7, 8 lines. Then that 5, 6 lines is also okay. But then read the question properly, try to understand it, and then answer. There will be 7 questions given. We have generalized option this year, so instead of putting an or in between 2 questions, all the questions will be given together. Out of that 7 questions, we have to answer 5. That means 5 to the 10 marks. So this completes section A. Now we come to section B. Section B is of 12 marks. Now we come to another part of the chapter, another part of the syllabus, that is poems. Right? So again we have textual poem comprehension. Yes, that is in Beehive only. There is no poem in supplementary reader, that is moments. Right? So out of the poems, all the 10 poems, some poems have been cut, the syllabus has been reduced, that we will be discussing also. Right? So please assure that you are writing all these things. And poem comprehension, 1 stanza or 2-3 lines will be given to you. Maybe if the stanza is long, hardly 3 or 4 lines from that stanza will be given to you, and will be followed by 2 questions, 2 marks, 1 mark each question. Yes, here it is in the form of question and answer, not MCQ. So you have to read the poem or the stanza that is given to you, and you have to answer. Again, unseen poem will not be asked in for this year. Right? Again, next year we'll be having it in 10th. Now we come to the next question, that is figures of speech. We have few poems. All the figures of speech has been taught to you. It has been marked in the material, so there is no doubt that you cannot answer the question. 2 figures of that means 1 line will be given, you have to identify. It will be in the form of MCQ, so it is quite far better for you. You have to identify it and then find that answer in the option proper. And 2 questions will be asked, carrying 1 mark each. So 1 line will be given, 4 options will be given. Again 1 line will be given, 4 options will be given. Now thing to remember even for 10th standard is, if the line has more than 1 figure of speech, we always choose the higher one in difficulty. Yes, we know that alliteration, repetition, they are quite easy. You look at it, you know 2 words are repeated again in that line, that means repetition is there. Consonant sound is repeated, alliteration is there. But at the same time, some another figure of speech is also found. For example, part of a body is in that line, then that is synecdoche. Yes, whole for the part for the whole. Right? Now between alliteration and synecdoche, which is the higher one? Synecdoche is the higher one. So even when option 2 two options are correct, then also we have to choose which is the more difficult one. For example, synecdoche is given, but then transferred epithet is also found over there. Euphemism is also found over there. Then compared to the other one, transferred epithet or euphemism is higher or more difficult level. So we have to choose that. Please remember this in figures of speech. Next, question and answer related to poems and SR. Now we know in supplementary reader, first 5 chapters 1 to 5 have been included and 6 to 10 have been excluded this year, right? So you have to learn only 5 chapters from SR, and poems also have been reduced. So there will be 4 questions, can be poems and SR. All of that will be mixed up. 4 twos are 8, because that will also be 2 marks each. So question answers related to poems. Now if a summary of a poem is asked, of course it's going to be quite lengthy. You have to write the complete summary. So the length of the answer will be quite long depending upon the question. See that you satisfy the question properly, justify the question properly, and write the answer. Now as far as SR is considered, SR, it's quite a long story, right? So you have to write more matter in order to justify the question. So supplementary reading answers will be quite lengthy than the textual, that is the beehive questions. It will always be lengthy because you have to explain more story in that, right? So supplementary reader question answers will be quite long. So poems and SR, length of the answers will be quite long, right? So 4 questions we have to answer. 6 generalized options will be given without any or. So 6 questions are here. You have to answer 4. So 4 twos are 8 marks. This completes section B. Now we come to section C. Section C is 18 marks. Mostly grammar is asked in this. For example, we start with rectification of errors. Yes, 4 marks question will be asked. That means 4 lines will be given. Each and every line will have 1 error. Now people tend to lose marks over here. Some people may get 1 mark, some people may get 2 marks. Yes, I would like to explain this a little bit so that we are clear, right? Now rectification of errors. First thing is, students are not able to find what error is there. Yes, because they don't know what to look for. How can errors be created? Yes, spellings are wrong. Either spelling will be wrong or grammar will be wrong. Either spelling or grammar will be wrong. इन दोनों को छोड़ के और कोई error नहीं हो सकता. Yes, spelling, it is understood. Now in grammar, what are the different parts of speech, or where can grammar go wrong? First thing is prepositions. We know we are very good at prepositions, right? So हमारी तरफ से जो वहां पे preposition है वही सही होता है, right? It's not that, right? So see that the preposition used is correct. Second thing can be singular or plural. Sometimes singular, plural, one of the word that should be plural is given singular, one of the word which should be singular is given plural. Now third one can be subject verb concord. Yes, subject used is Maya and the verb used is are. Subject used is Vipul, and in that same line the helping verb or any other part that is used, that subject verb concord is not there. Yes, Vipul are, Maya were, right? So subject verb concord is not there. Subject is singular, verb is plural, right? So this is yet another type of error that can be found. Preposition, singular, plural, subject verb concord is not there. Yes. Next, pronoun used is wrong. Pronoun used is wrong. In spellings, only one thing can happen, entire word is changed. Entire word gets changed. Now this will be asked from the textbook only. Outside, no. From outside the textbook, no. It will be asked from the chapters only. So what happens is, if we have read the chapters properly, then we should be able to find out the mistakes quite properly, right? So prepositions, singular, plural, subject, verb, concord, pronoun. Yes, these are some of the common errors that you will find. Yes, so keep these things in mind, that when I'm looking at the sentence, when I'm looking at that line, where can a thing go wrong? Yes, verbs given will be wrong. Tense given will be wrong. Yes, instead of goes, it will be written went. So tense may be wrong, right? So find out that it will never be two word, it will always be a single word, right? So error, please understand that there cannot be two words which are wrong together. Yes, another thing is article can be wrong. Capitalization will always be there. Capitalization, we understand, even 6th standard, 5th standard, 4th standard student knows capital kahan hona chahiye, nahi hona chahiye, right? So those are very common errors. Yes, these will be uncommon errors which your eyes miss. They are right over there in that line, but you are not able to pick it out. Yes, so when you are looking at a line, देखो कहाँ एरर हो सकती है इसमें. स्पेलिंग सबके सही है, ग्रामर में prepositions are they used properly in the singular, plural are they properly used, subject verb concord है कि नहीं, pronoun ऊपर माया का नाम दिया है, नीचे ही है, so pronoun used is wrong, the tense is wrong somewhere. Yes, article is wrong. So these are some of the common mistakes that are done. So question is rectification of errors. It will be of 4 marks. Yes. Next come to fill in the blanks. Again, which type of fill in the blanks? Earlier we had a fill in blank which was for vocabulary. Now we know the grammar part is going to come. What will be there? Prepositions you have to fill up, articles, etc. You got to fill up over there, right? So these are quite important parts of speech of any language, right? So when we are dealing with English, when it's a medium of writing answers for all the subjects, right? So it becomes very necessary for us that our prepositions are correct, articles, in short, grammar is correct. We know the correct usage of grammar, right? For that also, again, fill in the blank, that passage has been taken from the textbook. Yes, usually it will be beehive. Right? So we have read, whether it is beehive, whether it is supplementary reading, we have thoroughly read the chapters. Reading of the chapters is a must. It allows you to not only help out with all these small objectives like error rectification, fill in the blanks. Yes, it also allows you to give any question that is asked from anywhere in the chapter, right? So reading of the textbook is a must. Next, direct indirect speech. Yes, we have thoroughly understood direct indirect speech this year, right? You have it in your grammar book. Yes, whenever you are free, you can always open up the material that is given to you, and wherever dialogues are available, whichever chapter it is, right? You just see it, pick out 2 or 3. Okay, I have 10 minutes. I'll do this 2 or 3 dialogues that are given over there. And wherever I am in doubt, I will refer to the grammar fair book that I have made, and where direct, indirect, all the rules, regulations are given, right? And I'll check according to that rule and regulation where I have the possibility of going wrong. And you can also check whether whether you have whatever answer you have given is correct or not. So डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट इट ऑलवेज कम्स टू प्रैक्टिस, जस्ट लाइक मैथ्स, राइट? मैथ्स में जितनी प्रैक्टिस करते हो उतना आपका डाउट्स कम रहता है. यस, कम वट एवर क्वेश्चन, ओनली फिगर्स विल बी चेंज्ड. यस, अदरवाइज यू कैन डू एनी क्वेश्चन, राइट? द सेम वे डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट, इफ यू आर practicing again and again, you become thorough with the rules. Yes, you know this is my answer and it's correct, right? So direct, indirect, lots of practice on your own has to be done. Next comes transformation of sentences, right? Transformation sentences, whatever topics of transformation of sentences, affirmative to negative, negative to affirmative, assertive to exclamation, assertive to question tags, assertive to interrogative, whatever topics have been taught, whatever topics are there in your grammar fair book, all of them will be taken, right? So only advantage, disadvantage, whatever you say, this year it will be in the MCQ form. That means one sentence will be given to you, maybe it is positive, negative. If it is affirmative, in the bracket at the end you will be asked to select the correct negative. If it is affirmative, you have to do only one thing, make it negative, right? Now that is the question. Sentence is given, you are asked to make negative, right? And 4 options will be given to you. From those 4 options you have to select the correct one. In a way it becomes very easy. Yes, because as soon as you read the first option, you know, no, this cannot happen. You read the second one, so you narrow down your options. 4 options are given to you, one you definitely know this cannot happen, so put a cross over there, right? So now you have only 3 to deal with. Out of that 3, which is the next wrong one, then 2 options are out, now you have 2, right? Out of that 2, which is the correct one. So slowly you narrow down. That is the correct way of answering any MCQ, right? So you do that, you get the marks. Only thing is, only difficulty is if all the 4 options look alike in the sense that they mean the same, but you are not able to differentiate, right? You are not able to comprehend that, understand that, then there will be confusion. Some of the answers may be confusing. This one will be right or this one will be right, right? So everywhere you got to know the rules properly. Affirmative, negative, we have only 1 or 2 rules. Yes, same way, affirmative to exclamatory or question tags, we have just 1 or 2 rules. If you are thoroughly aware of those rules, you'll get 7 out of 7 from MCQ. So this completes section C. Now we have section D. Section D is of 10 marks, where 2 questions will be asked. One is diary writing, which we have done quite a lot, we have practiced a lot, right? So diary writing, please follow the format that is given in the fair book, grammar fair book. We have in 2 parts, one is grammar, another is writing, where we have particularly noted down the format. Put the format and put that question in the content part, right, and answer it properly. So diary writing, 5 marks are there. Next, notice. We have had lots and lots of practice of notice, so these are 2 easy questions, yes, and quite scoring section. Next we come to section E. Section E is 20 marks. Now this section also we have done thoroughly. For example, the first question will be letter writing. Yes, so it can be formal, it can be informal. We have learnt both of them. So that's not an issue. 6 marks ka letter hai. Because of COVID situations, marks weightage have been increased because syllabus has been cut, right? So everywhere, other parts, usually letter writing comes even in the board for 5 marks. Here it is given 6 marks. Same way email, 5 marks maximum, but here it is given 6 marks. So 1 mark extra you're getting, right? So make use of that. Right, try to get maximum mark. We have done lots of practice for letter writing, that is formal or informal. We have done lots of practice of email, both formal, informal. Yes, both will be separate question, no or, right? That will be 6 marks. So 12 marks. Out of 12, we can easily get 10 marks, 10 and a half, 11. That is more than enough. Essay, we have had lots of practice. Story writing is an option that will be provided. Yes, story. Hints will be given, right, and we can easily make up a story. Yes, you people are very good at making stories. Yes, yeah, your parents suffer from that, we suffer from it, right? Homework nahi kiya, you have lots and lots of stories to make, right? So you people are quite good at story writing. So let's not discuss it this year, we'll be discussing it next year, right? What are the points to be followed? And an option is given. If you think that you can make a very good story out of the hints that is given, instead of essay you can opt for story writing, which is quite good. Yes, So this completes the complete paper style, you can say blueprint. On this blueprint, paper will be made and it will be quite easy for you to answer and score marks. Now we come to the syllabus part. Syllabus for final exam from Beehive. Please note down chapters. Which chapters will be asked? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is not there. 5 has been cut. 5 has been cut, right? Then 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 10 also has been cut. 10 has been cut. 10 has been cut. 11. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 11 chapters, 9 chapters will be cut. Which are the 9 chapters will be asked in the exam. 2 chapters will be cut. Which are they? 5 and 10. Okay. Now we come to poems. Poems 1, 2, 3, 4 is cut. 5, 6, 7 is cut. 8, 9. Yes. Then 10th is cut. 3 poems are cut. We already know about 7. 7 is a nonsense verse, right? There are no questions available, no figures of speech done, right? No summary is given. It is just for fun. So we already know that since when we just went through it, right? We enjoyed the poem. Otherwise, we don't have any question answers, figures of speech from it. So out of 10 poems, 3 poems have been cut. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 poems only. Small poems are there, no lengthy poems are there. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. This is the syllabus for poem. Now we come to moments. Moments we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in the syllabus. These chapters they are in the syllabus, and 6 to 10 have been cut. So students, please note down this syllabus properly so that it helps you in preparing yourself better. Yes, and if you have already cut those chapters out from your syllabus, you know you don't have to work on this particular chapter because it has been reduced, right, by the board. So we are going to follow this syllabus for the final exam of Standard 9 English. Now we'll start with the revision work. We'll try to revise the complete syllabus part by part. Yes, don't worry, we'll not be hurrying. We'll take enough time so that we can have a glimpse of each and every chapter, each and every poem that we are learning, right? So we'll start with Beehive. And Beehive, chapter number 1, The Fun They Had, right? And written by Isaac Asimov. Very, very important. You should know that this question has been taken from when we are dealing especially with the question answers. Yes, when we are dealing with fill in the blanks or error correction, there we don't have to mention these things. But when we are writing question answers, yes, we should start the question with the name of the chapter, the author, and then continue with our answer, right? Please make it a habit that these two things should be included in your answer, that is the name of the chapter and the author. Yes, you can start it in any way. The author Isaac Asimov in the chapter The Fun They Had wants to say this, right? This is the standard way. Or in the chapter The Fun They Had, which is written by or which is authored by Isaac Asimov, yes, we see that the chapter is set in the future, right? And then we continue with the answer. Now, what is this whole chapter, The Fun They Had? The story is set in the future when books and schools as we are now dealing with, that will be obsolete. That is, it will be non-existent. There will be no school, there will be no classroom, there will be no student sitting in the classroom, and no teacher teaching them. Whole of that system will be non-existent. Then what will be existent? Because now that is in the future. So all this physical learning, going to school, sitting on the bench, learning from a teacher, all these things will be totally non-existent. We have gone through the chapter many times. We know what is it, right? It's going to be e-learning, the thing we are doing now, right? So we are watching videos. Same way, there also a mechanical teacher is teaching. How will the children study? And whole of the chapter is there. Most important thing for the students to understand is they should be aware of each and every character that is in the story, because every once in a while you will be needing names. To answer properly, you need to know. Yes, Tommy said to Margie, Margie said to Tommy. Once, twice you mention that, then he and she will do. But for that once or twice, you need to know the names of the characters. Yes, what Margie did. Then you know, you remember the girl's name was Margie, and what did he say to Tommy? If that question has the name, sometimes the question does not have the name, then we have to supply the name. So very, very important characters you should be able to know. What are the characters in the story? Margie, Tommy, both are small children. Yes, not quite of age, not that much, right? They are still in the primary school. Then another important character is the inspector, who is called by the mother of Margie to come and inspect the computer which is over there and check why the mechanical teacher is giving test after test, and Margie is doing quite horribly in those. So something is wrong with the mechanical teacher, right? So that inspector is a very important character because he comes in the story and does some work, right? Same way, Margie's mother. ज़्यादा dialogue भी नहीं है, but Margie's mother is mentioned in the story. Yes, when it was time, because Margie was busy reading the book along with Tommy, so she doesn't know what time is it. It is mother who reminds Margie to go to school classroom that is next to her bedroom, right? But there are few dialogues written over there, so Margie's mother also becomes a character, very, very important. Now, second chapter, The Sound of Music, written by Evelyn Glennie. This chapter is divided into two parts. One is Evelyn Glennie, and next one is about the Shania Maestro, right? So in Evelyn Glennie, we know these chapters, they are here with a purpose. Yes, they are not just given for studies. It serves a purpose. For example, Evelyn Glennie, yes, she was able to hear in her childhood, but when she became of a certain age, she started losing the sense of hearing, and slowly at one point in time she became completely deaf. And a deaf child becomes one of the most sorted out percussionist. Yes, so even when she cannot hear, she trained herself in music, because when she could hear, yes, she had a passion for music, and that she made into use and turned that passion into profession. And she went through lots of, because it becomes very difficult when you are not able to hear what you are playing, what music you are creating. Yes, so feeling it, how she felt the music with the different parts of her body, how she tried, how she again and again she tried and became a successful percussionist, right? So God may have taken hearing from her, but he has given back some other gift which is quite extraordinary. She can not hear music, but she can feel music, and that is how she became quite a great musician. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than us. We just hear in our ears, but she feels through her. Oh, lots of examples are given in the text. You can feel it through her hair, yes, through her fingers, the flow. It flows like waves, yes, from some of the drum beats she can hear from the upper half, some of the drum beats she can hear from the listen or feel from the lower half of her body, right? And so in this way she feels the music, and whole of the story is wound around that. Now again, mentions. Now because this is a story which is based on true events, yes, we cannot say characters, but then some mentions are there, some names are there. For example, we already know Evelyn Glennie is already the main character. Yes, apart from that, Isabel Glennie, that is the mother. Then Ron Forbes, James Blades, Anne Racklin, all these names are given Please remember these names because it becomes very helpful in making your answer more decorative. Yeah, examiner, what does he want? He wants that you should have full knowledge of the chapter. How will you be able to give the full knowledge of the chapter? By including these names wherever the answer wants it. Right? Just don't say somebody said, yeah, no, why that? Because you don't know the name, that is why you are saying somebody, right? So please remember these names and include that in your answer. The next part is the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. Bismillah Khan is the greatest Shehnai maestro of India. Think of Shehnai and the first name that comes to your mind is Bismillah Khan, and probably you will hear, you'll imagine as some wedding is going on and in the background Shehnai is being played on the speaker. So wedding or similar occasion or function, you'll always imagine Shehnai being played. The next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan. Shehnai is equal to Ustad Bismillah Khan. That means they are parallel, right? So it's a whole of the story is on, this is a life story, is cut in short, but it's a life story of Ustad Bismillah Khan given in a very small chapter. Yes, the different phases you should be able to remember. Yes, childhood, what he did in the childhood. Yes, for example, he played Gilli Danda, and he used to speak Chaita, and he used to get a big laddu as a prize if the children were able to recite the Chaita. Then when he at home, that is also complete family is devoted to music, especially Shehnai. When he goes to his maternal uncle, there also he finds everybody is engrossed in practicing Shehnai. He accompanies his uncle over there with he accompanies his uncle wherever he goes, and sees that he gets quite a lots of appreciation. Yes, since very childhood he started getting lessons in Shehnai. Yes, he would go to some quiet corner. Yes, we know two places are there. One is the Mandir and another is the Ganges, on the banks of Ganges. He used to practice, and he invented ragas, modified them so that they can be played on Shehnai. So these are the different achievements, and then he started getting lots and lots of achievement, right? So that you have to write. Shehnai master playing, etc. What are the important things that you should remember? First things are the names. Again, mentions are there. For example, Emperor Aurangzeb. The story starts with it. Yes, he stopped the playing of Pungi. Yes, then one Babar, he modified Pungi into Shehnai. Then Rasul Baks at home, Paigambar Baks, his grandfather, Ali Baks, and Ustad Ali Baks, his maternal uncle, Ustad Fayaz Khan, after listening the recitation, playing of the Shehnai by Ustad Bismillah Khan, when he was quite young and performed for the first time on stage, Ustad Fayaz Khan, he commented something, right? King Zahir Khan, he was the king of Afghanistan, where out of the country tours made by Bismillah Khan, right? Vijay Bhatt, he was the director of movies, under which Ustad Bismillah Khan got 2 movies, and one of them was quite a super hit, right? Then what are the awards? You should know these names: Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan. These were the civilian awards that are given. Yes, the highest category. 2001, Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, that is the Bharat Ratna. So you should be knowing all these names properly so that you can involve them in your answers and you can score marks. Next, The Little Girl, that is Catherine Mansfield, written by Catherine Mansfield. Yes, parents, do you know your parents better now, because now you are quite grown up, but the little girl that is talked over here, she's quite small and she's not able to understand her father. At the end of the story, she completely understands her father. So from not understanding to understanding, that is where the complete chapter is, right? Perhaps you now understand the reason, some of the actions that are used to that used to upset you earlier. Yes, sometimes you think that your parents are quite harsh. Same what happens with this little girl. Yes, Kezia, right? Sometimes we do not like what our parents they do to us. Yes, sometimes they are very strict, they are sometimes we find them very harsh, but inside we know they love us, right? But at that time we are not able to know why they are doing it to us. Yes, it's for our betterment, right? That we understand when we grow up. So this is all the dilemma that goes on with this girl Kezia. What are the characters now? This is a story having names, so characters are there. First name Kezia, that is the girl itself. Father is there, we have lots of dialogues of father, his behavior is there. Mother, her behavior is there, many dialogues of her. Grandma is there, always taking care of Kezia. McDonald's, the family living in the neighbor, right? Alice is the cook. All of them are important characters, yes, and we should know all of them. A truly beautiful mind, we are talking about Albert Einstein, right? Why do you think of who do you think of when you hear the word genius? Yes, genius. Parallel, what is the answer? Albert Einstein, right? So, what qualities do you think a genius has? A young German civil servant who took the world by storm, yes, about 100 years from now ago, in the summer of 1905, the 26-year-old published in quick succession 4 groundbreaking papers that made him famous instantly and whole of the world. The way they were looking at the same things, yes, the perspective changed because of Albert Einstein's papers, and a new vision was set for the world, right? So here we have the complete life story of Albert Einstein. Lots of parts are taken from here and then. Again, we have a part where it is about the childhood of Einstein. Again, we have a part when he grows up, goes to school. Again, we have a part where he goes from one place to another, continues with his school, then college. So when there we have that part where he is going to the college, yes, where he meets another character, that is who is going to become his wife, Mileva Merrick, right? There is a small episode about it. Then we come to his submitting the papers, right? The special theory of relativity, yes, E is equal to mc square. Then after a few years he submits another papers, that is general relativity, yes. So and this way in chunks and pieces we have the complete story, right? Then happens the Second World War, right? And before that he writes to the president of USA. You should be able to write the name of the president to whom the letter was written, and because of that the Americans were able to prepare nuclear bomb, and they dropped it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and which put an end to the war, and the war ended. After that also he wrote to the secretary of the UN, right? So all these things you should be able. So whole of the story till Albert Einstein's death, whole of from birth to death, whole of the story is given in quite a small chapter. Yes, that has been taken from chunks and bits and pieces here and there, but you should be knowing the complete sequence of the story. Mentions, lots of things are there. Albert Einstein himself, please write the correct spelling. Headmaster who told the father, let him do whatever, he is good at nothing. So you should remember that. Mother, yes, mother quite conservative, right? We know. And Mileva Merrick, the first, the would-be wife, then she became the wife, then she became the mother of 2 children, right? And then they got divorced. 1905, Einstein's special theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square. 1915, difference of 10 years, general theory of relativity. Then he got a Nobel Prize for giving these theories, physics, in 1921. So 1905, 1915, then come to 1921, where he got the Nobel Prize. Wrote a letter to the then American president. You should know the name, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Roosevelt. On 2nd August 1939, he died. The letter was written on 2nd August 1939. He died in 1955 at the age of 76. And put in a nutshell. Next chapter is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. This is an autobiography, right? His autobiography is Wings of Fire. From here, he tells us about his own life. In his autobiography, lots of parts of this chapter has been taken from there, right? So this is an autobiography, the work of APJ Abdul Kalam himself on his life story. APJ Abdul Kalam, whose projects in space, defense, nuclear technology has given quite a long stride in India to come in the 21st century and make a mark in the history of the world. Became our 11th president also. He was not only a scientist, he was not only the head of the DRDO, right? But he was also then nominated and elected as the 11th president in 2002. From 2002, 5 years, that is, he retired as the president of India in 2007. In his autobiography, what is the name of the autobiography? Wings of Fire. He speaks first of his childhood, right? And then we have lots of small episodes. What are they? Let's remember, right? Mentions. First thing is where he was born, where he was brought up. The place is Rameswaram. Then we know something about the father. The name of the father you should know. Father is Jainulabdin. Mother, what is the name of the mother? Ashiamma. Brother-in-law is Jalaluddin. Cousin Samsuddin. Because these stories are woven with these names, right? For example, brother-in-law Jalaluddin, yes, he tells about that wartime stories when the World War started. Yes, he used to tell the stories of World War, and Abdul Kalam used to verify that from the newspaper. Next, Cousin Samsuddin. Cousin Samsuddin is the person who gave the first break to earn money, wages, where Abdul Kalam worked to collect the newspaper and distribute in the city. That is where he earned his first wages in his life. Very important people, and stories are woven around them. Childhood friends, who are they? We have quite a long episode, right? Ramanatha Sastri, Arvindan and Siva Prakasham. These are the three childhood friends. Yes, we know whole of that episode where a new teacher comes and because Abdul Kalam was a Muslim, he was sent to the and he should not be sitting near the head of the temple, that is the son of the head of the temple, Ramanatha Sastri. He should not be sitting with him, right? And then Ramanatha Sastri's father called that teacher and rebuked him in and asked him to tell sorry or leave the town. So we know that whole of the episode, but then we should remember the names also. Then science teacher Siva Subramania Iyer, who showed the correct path, yes, not only to Abdul Kalam but also to his own wife, right? That there is no difference between a Hindu boy and a Muslim boy. Yes, the eating manners, we are not different, right? So these things were taught to him by many people everywhere. So you remember the names, you automatically remember the story that goes with, and you can write it on your own words. So next is chapter number 7, that is packing. It's written by Jerome K. Jerome, and in this he becomes the narrator also. Yes, because he is one of the character in this story, Three Men in a Boat, from where the episode of packing is taken. A complete episode is given to Jerome K. Jerome. He is a British writer and he is a famous humorist. This chapter is an extract of the comic travelogue Three Men in a Boat. His essay collection is also quite popular, right? And that is about the author. Now, Jerome K. Jerome is the character over here. There are 3 characters plus a dog, right? So Jerome is the narrator over here. George and Harris, they are quite close friends, and all of them, they are going to some picnic, and we are told about the packing episode, how they pack, and that creates humor. And there is that dog, name of the dog, Montmorency, right? So we know the complete episode. First, Jerome started doing the packing. Yes, he made lots of blunders, and both of them sat over there. Rest of the 2, George and Harris, they sat over there and made fun of him. Yes, and then when his packing was over, after creating lots of incidences over there, humorous incidences, he sat on one side, and now it was time for George and Harris to continue with the packing, right? And they also make quite a lot of blunders and creates humor, right, all along the story. And even before going to sleep, after the packing is done, when they go to sleep, they try to create humor. So everywhere we have to point out where the humor was done, and we have to answer the question, not only justify the question, but we have to write it in sequence. In all these small episodes, humorous episodes, there is lots of sequence. First he does this, then he does this, then he does this, right? So this way, if we are able to remember the complete story sequence wise, the happenings, then you surely will get marks. So chapter number 8, reach for the top. Again, this chapter is divided into two parts. One is Santosh Yadav and another is Maria Sharapova. Both of these individuals, they are related with sporting events, extreme sports. One is extreme sport, one is quite a money making sport. Yes, so the people at the top in the line of these two sports, that is Santosh Yadav and Maria Sharapova. The only woman in the world, who is Santosh Yadav? She is the only woman in the world who scaled Mount Everest 2 times. Yes, youngest one in society where birth of a son. Yes, we have quite a conservative society in India, orthodox society, right, where more preference is given to a boy child, and though girl child not considered as a birth, but curse, but it is not, the birth of a girl is not welcome. We are talking about bygone era, right? Nowadays both the children are considered equal, right? That's not the case. See, 100 years back, 50 years back, that was not the case. So she was born into a society which believed that birth of a boy child is more luckier than birth of a girl child. Here we see that she was the only sister to 5 brothers, right? So she was not considered as a curse, but then she was not given that much freedom which her brothers enjoyed. She had to fight for her education. Yes, she had to take permission. She cannot go out of the village for educational purpose. She ran away from her home in order to complete her education. Yes, and then college also, from where she got a chance to start mountaineering. She started, and within no time, yes, after completing small important expeditions, she got a chance to join the team going to Mount Everest, to climb the Mount Everest, and she became one of the youngest girl to climb Everest. Then next year also she got a chance, and again she climbed the Mount Everest second time, and thus becoming the only woman in India to scale at that time. Yes, the records keep on breaking. That time she was the only woman in the world to scale Mount Everest 2 times. Yes, so whole of the story is around that. Next is Maria Sharapova. She was a Russian girl, born and brought up in Russia, but at quite a young age she left Russia and came to US, settled. Her father was already working over there. So Maria Sharapova reached the summit of women's tennis when she was barely 18. She was not even 18, barely, hardly 18. She was not even 18 complete. Before that, she was on the top charts of tennis, one of the most popular player in the world of tennis, that is Maria Sharapova. Yes, and whole of the story from the moment she leaves Russia till she becomes the star, whole of the story is woven on to see that, to tell us, to make us understand that there will be lots of difficulties in your path, but once you have your vision clear, once you know your goal, once you know where your destiny wants you to go, right, you can bear all the hardships, because you know those hardships will be temporary. Once you reach a particular stage where success starts coming to you, then there is no looking back, and then there is only one thing: you will be on the top. Everyone will be after you, right? Not, there will be nobody ahead of you. They will always be behind you, right? Because you are at the top, right? So whole of the story, either it is Santosh Yadav or Maria Sharapova, right? You got to remember the complete sequence, right? For both of the stories, complete sequence is given, right from childhood till they attain success, from childhood to success. So both of the stories you should know thoroughly well. Students, with this we come to an end to today's lecture. I will be continuing with the rest of the 2 chapters which are remaining. Then we'll start with poems. Then we'll also be completing supplementary reader plus some grammar topics also.